So,
Okay, never mind.
yeah. So the figures... How do I put this? They looked familiar. But at the same time, they looked different. They didn't fit anything you've seen recently. They did appear to be... What's the word?
Ugly.
Ugly. They appeared formless.
Oh.
But there was substance to them. And you're not sure what they were, but you get the idea that in this dream state, they weren't something you conjured up. There's something physical and real to them. It's the same with your mother. So you get the idea that they're not just manifestations of your dreams. They're legitimate, real creatures that have...
It's not your trauma given form.
Yeah, it's
No.
not
Soul.
Yeah, it's not in your head. It's real. Is the best way I can put it.
Did we recognize the forest?
No, it was foreign to you.
Okay. But you recognize the figures?
I'm gonna storm down to the kitchen, get a glass of water,
Okay.
and then I'm going to storm over to the office where my dad is kept and splash him with the water.
You see him deep in sleep with a book on his chest, and you splash him in the face. He's like, "Oh, damn it! What? Ah!" He kind of looks and says, "What do you want?"
So, I've been having a recurring nightmare,
Yes.
You see
and
his face kind of grows pale for a moment and goes, "What kind of nightmare?"
Mother is running from something. Last night I was able to conjure up the idea to turn around and look at these pursuers.
He goes, "I have not
And
had the
I,
courage
like-
to do that."
I give him a description of what I saw and tell him how once I tried to dig into my knowledge of our faith, they felt familiar.
He goes, "I have not had the courage to turn around and look at whatever was pursuing us, but I've had the dream too. I don't recognize the creatures. I haven't seen them yet, but knowing our trifle past, it wouldn't surprise me if something was coming back."
Something.
Whatever these creatures were, they did not seem to intend any harm on me. I was able to grab one of them, and it just slipped through my grasp and didn't even attempt to harm me back.
He kind of leans back in his chair and like kind of dries himself off with his shirt. And he says, "The answers are most likely in that journal. Your mother was very secretive. She kept things from me."
Where is the journal? It's still with us, right? It
Yeah, it's
hasn't
still
been
with you.
stolen.
It hasn't been stolen or anything.
Okay. I'm going to take the journal, and I'm going to place it up into my rib cage and hold it up there, like where my lungs and heart should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like tie it to your ribs.
No, kind of like use the lower parts of the rib cage that aren't connected to the sternum to use those as kind of like a little tiny shelf.
I feel like
my
you're gonna
God.
need to tie it to your ribs though, so it doesn't just fall out.
Okay.
Okay. So
Just can help you with that.
Yeah.
after a few hours of waiting, eventually there's a knock at the front door, and Tulpa, still with his broken arm in a sling, kind of opens it, and you see Hephaestus standing there.
No, Sphere opens it.
Sphere opens
Like
it. and
Tulpa goes to open it and Sphere just like zooms
Yeah.
past him.
Hephaestus kind of
Yeah.
enters and sees a sphere and goes, "Oh, that's impressive." And he continues forward.
Trust me, it's not impressive.
Hush, Mars.
Trust me, you'd say that, but you've never seen them in combat.
I walk up to Tulpa and I'm gonna cast the Greater Restoration.
All right. So you watch as his arm glows brightly, and then he like stretches it out, and the bone is healed. And he's like, "Thank you, Master Mars." I thought I was out of the job, and he laughs to himself.
Don't worry. You're free to discontinue your services whenever you feel you are unable to perform the tasks, but we do greatly appreciate you working here.
You can leave whenever you're too fed up to stay working here.
He goes, very well. And he kind of disappears back upstairs.
Should I also suggest, Mars, a 50% raise for the man?
In all honesty, I don't really know what he's being paid.
You could always ask your father.
Jupiter, what have you been paying Tulpa?
Yeah. What have you been paying this man?
Are you actually asking him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, well, we provide free room and board, and that's about it.
You haven't been paying the man?
Of course not. He's just a servant. He lives here rent-free. He gets meals. It's fine. He enjoys the work.
He likes it. He thinks it's fun. He likes being a house servant. My God.
Oh my god.
You know what? Fine. I think another Gios is in order. Wouldn't you say so, Mars? I think the Gios this time should be when Jupiter does inevitably pass, all of his wealth and prospects are inherited by Helpa.
Well, I mean, once he's excommunicated, he won't have any right to claim any of this stuff.
Well, then it should go to Helpa regardless.
Yes, I had already planned on giving the manor and all of the estate's money to Tulpa.
And maybe if you're lucky, Jupiter, he'll hire you on as a house servant.
You see Jupiter just kind of like shake his head. He goes, this has been quite a few harrowing days.
What, having to take responsibility for your crimes?
He goes, Mars, I apologize for wronging you in the past, but we are family, aren't we?
This isn't just about wronging me. You've been endangering lives for money.
He goes, yes, and look what it's paid for. And he kind of gestures to the house.
That doesn't make it right. We were supposed to be priests.
He's like... He just kind of leans back in his chair and goes back to thinking.
All I have to say about this now is just that everything that's come of this, you've brought it upon yourself.
He just kind of shakes
And
his
I
head.
leave.
Okay, and you leave, and you hear him say something under his breath, but he goes back to staring at the fire.
Can I roll perception to see if I...
Yeah, make a perception check.
Rags,
17.
17. You can't really make it out. He says it as you turn the corner, so it's just muffled enough that you can't hear it.
Well, the room where Gus and Hugo and Hephaestus will be doing the translation and the deciphering. Oh, yes. I say, one moment, Hephaestus. I need to get the second hemisphere of this brainstorm. Avert thine eyes. I'm going to hold my hand up to my eye.
Gus climbs out, and you see Hephaestus take a couple steps back and says, I'm in over my head.
No, you're not. Gus, I'd like to introduce you to Hephaestus. Hephaestus, Gus.
Gus bows and says, pleasure to meet you. And you see Hephaestus, just like a talking mouse,
He's not just a talking
crawled
mouse.
out of your skull.
Yes.
Which, you have a skull, not a face.
Yes.
Octavian,